Hello and welcome back to my channel, The A Word and Me. My name is Elana and today's video is all about surviving family events. Some of you might question the title surviving. For me, it is a survival a lot of the time, not all of the time, but some of the time, hence the kind of title. The reason that I've chosen to do this video now is because on Monday, next weekend, we'll be approaching the bank holiday weekend and a lot of people will have family events on, so I thought it would be like a nice time to post it. As I film this, I'm not feeling great, my kind of voice is quite sore, I don't know if it sounds funny, and I've got a bit of a headache. I probably should take like some paracetamol or ibuprofen, but I haven't yet. But the video needs filming and editing, so I'm kind of just doing it for that kind of reason now because I'm working so much up until Monday. So kind of bear with me if it's not my best video, but I am trying to give you a good video and I will try my hardest. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. My first tip is to have time out. I think it's normal and natural to feel anxious, like if I have some time out, will people miss me? Will people kind of say judgy comments? Will people want me downstairs? The answer is they probably will, but I think what's best for you is more important than what other people think. When I am having time out, my dad will sometimes and my mum will come and try to get me to go downstairs, and I'm like, no, I'm just having some time out. But I think it's important to not take too much time out because then it can become a little bit antisocial if you're gone for like an hour, but for like half an hour I think it is perfectly normal. All of my family do it at various times during family events, whether we're autistic or not, we all do it, so it's something that we all kind of accept and like learn that that's okay. The second thing that I recommend doing is to bring a quiet activity that you can do if you can have some downtime. That could be just going on your phone, but not just kind of chatting on your phone, maybe having a game, reading something, or bringing a book as well. That's what I used to do when I was younger. I used to bring a book and just read all the time at family events, and it's things some of my cousins do as well. The other thing to do with this is to, if you do crochet or knit or something like that, bring that with you. You can do that on your own, but it's also great if you're sitting on a sofa or something. It's something that you can bring out and do, so you're kind of in the conversation but you're not actively talking to other people, but it also gives people a reason to talk to you as well, and you can talk about what you're working on. And I think craft is becoming more socially acceptable, you know, in life, and I think my mum does like to talk about how it really helps me, and she's like, do some crochet, Elana, when we are having a social event, if she can see me struggling a bit, because she knows it helps. And by talking on this video, hopefully I can kind of get it out there. That's why I'm doing it, not to be antisocial, but it just kind of helps me rather than just sitting there and feeling uncomfortable. My next tip is to exercise before the event if possible, if kind of like time allows, if you're in the right place, you know, etc. The reason why I suggest this is because firstly it kind of gives you something to talk about. The family member might ask you, oh, what have you been up to today? And you can say, oh, well, I went for a run, I did some cycling, I did some squats, that kind of thing, so it's a talking point. And often people might congratulate you, so it's quite a nice positive conversation. But the second thing is that exercise releases endorphins, makes you feel good, and I think if you kind of can have that extra boost before the family event, you might be a bit more chatty, you might just feel better in yourself and therefore find the family event easier and hopefully perhaps more enjoyable as well. This is my personal favourite technique, it's to play with young children. I do this often when I don't know people who are at the event and I don't really want to talk to them for whatever reason. I play with the children, and that kind of gives me a role and a job so that I don't have to talk to the other people. And it also, I find that hanging out with children can often be a lot less socially exhausting because you're not having to have such difficult conversations with them. You will talk to them, but in a different way than you would talk to an adult or an older child, and I find it really helpful. It kind of keeps me occupied, and I kind of think when I go to a family event, my plan is to play with the children, so there's that kind of less insecurity and less kind of unsure of what the family event is going to offer. So children are your best friend in these situations, at least they are for me. My next technique, I don't really do it myself to be honest because I'm lazy, but when I was brainstorming ideas I kind of came up with this one, is to clean. Cleaning is good because it gives you something to do with your hands, so it's like an active activity, and people will be really grateful that you've offered to clean, but it's also often kind of a solo job, so you're not having to talk too much and you kind of have a role. One of the things I find hard, sorry that was the dog, is being anxious to socialise, and then I feel really awkward and left out. So by doing something like playing with children or cleaning, I feel like I'm involved, I'm present, but I'm just not doing the highly exhausting socialising and the challenge of it when I'm doing cleaning. I don't have to have that bit of it. The next thing is, if you're sort of in your own home, is to keep to your sort of norms of home. For me, I always sit at the same spot at dinner and lunch and breakfast, and at family events when someone's in my spot it does wind me up because that is kind of my spot. I like it especially because it's at the end and I don't like sitting between people. And my mum will normally say when people are like, where should I sit? She's normally like, don't sit there, that's Elana's spot, and people are like, okay. And I'm glad that people respect it, but that's something that I do like to do. And just small things like that kind of keep you to your sense of routine. And I find that when I'm in my routine and keeping to my norms, I just feel safer and kind of happier. It's when those get disrupted that I'm more anxious and a bit on edge. So I just kind of, a small thing can kind of help in a small way in an event like a family event, and just the more small things you can do, the happier you're gonna be. The last thing is that it's okay to feel left out because you find it harder to socialise, but don't feel sad about it. We each have our superpowers and our strengths, and when we're autistic often socialising isn't our strength at all, and it's something we find really hard, but we have other strengths and other superpowers, whatever they may be, and we just have to remember that. My cousin Freya is incredibly sociable, and to this day, age 19, I still find it hard at family events with her sometimes because she is so sociable that in a way I'm jealous and envious of her ability to do that. And I see that, you know, everyone really likes Freya because she puts that effort into them, but I find it really, really hard to talk to other people. And as time's gone on, I've learnt that that's her strength, that's her superpower as such, is socialising. Mine lie elsewhere, and that's okay. You know, some people are good at maths, some people aren't, some people are good at science, some people aren't, some people are good at socialising, some people aren't. We don't punish ourselves for not being good at certain things like maths or science. We just learn that there's other things that we're better at, and I think the same should be treated for socialising as well. We can try our hardest with it, like we might with our maths GCSE, but we might not get to the level that other people would, and that's absolutely okay. And once I think you remember that, it makes it easier, and when you do socialise, you do feel proud of yourself for kind of being brave, being strong, and doing something that you find really hard. So I think that's the thing that people forget and people need to remember, and I think other people need to remember it as well when talking to you, that you do find it hard, and so that when you are socialising and chatting away and stuff like that, they should be really proud, and they should kind of realise that sometimes they have to approach you rather than the other way around, and remember boundaries. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope it was helpful, and it wasn't too bad considering that I'm not feeling very well. But I hope that if you guys struggle too, by following some of these techniques you might notice a difference. And if you have any techniques, I would love to hear them so I could maybe make another video and share your techniques as well. But have a fabulous week and have a great bank holiday weekend, and if you have any family events, that you enjoy them, make the most out of them, and remember that you are special, you have your own superpowers, and if they're not socialising, that is okay, because you have different superpowers. Goodbye.